Hey you guys, welcome back. This is an after Christmas clean with me and also a complete disaster clean with me. I think that is an understatement. We hit the blizzard of a decade over here of hurricane force winds with 4 feet of snow. I'll talk a lot more about that, but we lost power, we lost all of our heat, we lost hot water, and my basement flooded. It has been an extremely trying 3 days and trying to put this house back together while also making the holidays magical. So I'll talk a lot more about it as we get into the video, and let's do it, you guys.
Open next one.
Yay! Merry Christmas, everyone. She just
What's next?
Hey you guys, welcome back for some extreme cleaning motivation. I don't even really know where to start, and just starting in this video, I am doing the after Christmas cleanup. I was determined to not let this natural disaster completely ruin Christmas. I mean, I was planning on having about 7 people over and my immediate family as well, with a bunch of kids coming over. And let's talk about, you making plans and God laughing, right? Everything got shut down. So that in itself was just a hard pill to swallow. And I wanted to make the most of it. So we just opened up all of Maddie's presents. This was on Christmas Eve. This whole nightmare really started on Friday the 23rd. We were warned that it was going to be what they were calling a, generation, once in a generation type of storm. But where I'm from, and as you've seen on my videos probably many times, we get hit with a lot of snow. It's normally not that overwhelming for us. It's not always pleasant, but it's something we just regularly deal with. So when they say things sometimes, it doesn't faze us too much. We definitely made sure we stocked up on some things, but we were also just coming off of another major storm. If you've been a subscriber to my channel, even just my past video, I was talking about how we had just cleaned up after a 6-foot snowstorm. So we have just not been catching a break, and this just took things to a completely new level. So while I'm doing this cleaning motivation here, this was probably the second day into the storm. The worst of it was this entire day, Christmas Eve. We ended up getting hit with hurricane force winds of 60 miles an hour to 70 miles an hour, blowing snow. I believe we've got over 5 feet in total over the past 3 days. And when the snow blows, it pushes the snow up into like almost piles of hills. So there are just sections around, the city, of course, but also my house where you would just have drifts of snow being 8 feet tall. It is very difficult to defeat that. You have to stay in the house. There is no way you can go outside. The feel of outside was negative 17 degrees, you guys. And since we haven't experienced something like this in quite a while, when it first started hitting on Friday morning, we thought we would have a few hours before maybe the power would go out for a little bit. We really had no idea it was going to become what it did. But my power went out within the first hour, and we were without power and heat for 13 hours. And when you are talking about, it being 5 degrees outside with, the 60-mile-an-hour winds, the house becomes cold so quickly. It was shocking, and there were no restoration times being available. We had no idea how long we were going to be without heat. And please send prayers out there, because this storm is no joke. There are still, I believe, 10,000 people without power to this day, 4 days in, and I don't even know how they're truly surviving. It's been a really scary situation for so many people, and thankfully, I should say, um, ours did turn on about 13 hours later. But in the meantime of that, we we were trying to get a little bit of the snow cleaned up, get a little bit of things prepped up for Christmas that we could. And John came running up the stairs and said, Jill, the basement is flooding. And I was just absolutely stunned. Like, what do you mean? We have two sub pumps. How can this be happening? And he's like, the electric, it's been out too long. It can't withstand it anymore. And, they're not obviously working, and it can't, there's nothing to push it back. And we have a lot of land. And so if you can imagine how nerve-wracking that was, because with all of that snow and land that we have, it could have easily started rising extremely quickly. And I think the scariest part of this whole storm is that our county shut down emergency services and inflicted a driving ban on the entire county. So there was no assistance coming for anybody. Talk about they weren't even plowing. They weren't coming for people if they were in need of help. It was incredibly disheartening, and um, I wasn't too thrilled with their decision making on some of those calls, but you really were on your own. And John and I were trying to figure out if we could get into the basement flood and, just get to the sub pumps to try to bail them out. We weren't really sure what to do. John thankfully was able to go in and at least get them moving a little bit, but not nearly enough, but enough where it wasn't going to rise enough to where, you would be, hip length deep into it. We luckily only had about a foot and a half by that point of water all throughout my entire basement. I mean, it is such a devastating thing to see. I mean, first of all, you're freezing because you don't have any heat, you don't have any electric. It gets dark out really soon, and your basement is just flooded everywhere. And not being able to, even after putting in an insurance claim right away and finding water mitigation specialists, we could not get somebody to come out because of all of these bans and things that the government had put into place. So it was just really difficult because we didn't want it to go up any higher. And simultaneously, just as that was happening, because the water was just lying stagnant in the basement for so long, our hot water tank went, and we had no hot water then. So there we are in my house was getting pretty cold. We were down to 60 degrees at one point. We had no hot water, and we were afraid that the basement was going to keep flooding. And that was how Christmas Eve was spent. We didn't know when somebody was going to be able to come out. They weren't releasing information all that quickly, just saying that they couldn't get to the roads being plowed. And it was just a really intense situation. Luckily for us, later on that day on Christmas Eve, the power came back on and our sub pumps worked and at least pushed the water out of the basement, which was like a Christmas miracle. Okay. I was so thrilled about that. I just didn't even care. I was like, at least the house is now safe and I can eventually get somebody to come out and start, doing damage control. So it was really difficult because I still wanted Maddie to just have a really beautiful Christmas, which we still did. We ended up opening presents on Christmas Eve just because I felt like we all really needed some Christmas cheer after such a rough 2 days of dealing with all of these things. And so that is why I had so many dishes and things to clean up. And I'm happy that, she doesn't know any better. She does not know that all of these catastrophes were happening just as she shouldn't. She just said she had a beautiful Christmas, which just really made my mom heart happy. I feel like I succeeded in that and still was able to give my daughter a beautiful Christmas amongst all of this crazy chaos going on. And as of right now, where I'm standing, I finally do have hot water. We had to replace the tank completely, and I'm hoping to have water mitigation come out tomorrow. They are finally lifting some of the driving bans, getting plows on the roads, and we actually are still supposed to even tomorrow, get hit with another additional foot of snow. So it's going to be a lot more chaos to get everything cleaned up, but I felt a lot better once we had hot water and the electric back on. And now we're just working on, doing the disaster, cleanup from the flooding that has happened. So it has been a lot and unexpected, especially to happen during Christmas, which is my favorite holiday and just something that, you don't expect to go through, any kind of natural disaster during this time. So I'm thankful though that we are all safe and we are okay. I was also thankful that my dad was staying with us. It was nice to have, two handy men with me taking care of these things, because without my husband being able to, take care of some of the issues with the sub pump, I don't know what would have happened and how high that water could have potentially gone, because there was nobody coming to help. They shut down everything. So I'm super thankful that we at least got to spend it together. They're my favorite people anyways, and I'm just going to do Christmas, with the family and friends at a different time, because we're all in the same boat. It really is just such a sad situation for so many people. I just pray that they get the power on for all of, these other people that are in worse shape than I am right now. It's one of those things in life, it really does shock you. It makes you want to become more prepared for things in life. Not that you can always have an answer for something. I am a bit of a, stocker for food and emergency items just from where I live in general, because we do get storms and things like that. But I definitely in the future I'm going to amp that up a lot and make sure I have a lot of extra supplies and food on hand, because you realize how fast it goes and how quickly you can find yourself feeling like you're living in the Stone Age. And moving on to the next day here, I just wanted to start tackling this laundry. I had so much laundry, you guys, just towels that we were using from everything. I mean, we were literally, boiling water to use it, to clean ourselves, and for anything that we might be able to cook quickly, like a soup and things like that. You make do and you realize you can, we were pretty handy with it all. But I had so much laundry from so many towels, and it just getting backed up because it obviously wasn't the priority. So I was just folding everything, putting in a couple more loads to really try to catch up and control what I could.
You look at me like I'm crazy when I shut my feelings out. You look at me like I'm different, still you stay cause you feel something real. Get so lost in my moments, doesn't mean I don't need you. I fell in love with your colors, they kinda tell me what I'm thinking. I fell in love with the way we are and the way we lose it. There's something different about us, and the reason why we stay. We fly around like paper planes, they never know where we will fall. Nobody can see us, still they wanna tear us apart. There's something different about.
What's that?
Look at the shovel. I can't. Oh my gosh. Oh
What's the shovel for?
my gosh. Look at my car.
My car is warm.
I can't even see the street. Okay, we're just gonna shut that. So I wanted to end the video showing just how intense this storm was, this blizzard. I mean, you couldn't even see, 3 feet in front of you. They actually classified it as a Category 3 hurricane with snow. It was very intense and also beautiful and makes you feel very small in life. And I just wanted to show some other clips of after it calmed down for the next day, just how much snow was left behind. I also could just not be more thankful for my husband and how much he did to keep us alive, really. I mean, between digging us out, dealing with the flooding, I just appreciate that man so much. And I appreciate anybody who's watched this video. I hope your Christmas was better than mine. I'm sure it was, but I am thankful that we are all okay and we weren't one of the ones that ended up much worse. So thank you guys for being here, and here's hoping to better days. I'll see you soon, guys. Bye.
You say all the right things when I'm hurting. You always pick me up when I am down. It's like you have a spark that leaves me burning. Yeah, you just have your ways to get me high. You make all my dreams come true. It feels right when I'm around you. We could break up and then make up. I always come back to you. You move